How Reacher's Alan Ritchson stole the role from another Hollywood star. Reacher, the Amazon Prime Video action hit, recently returned to streaming with a white-knuckle third season that continues the hero's journey based on Lee Child's book series. Season 3 is still ongoing with only a few episodes left, and so far, the show keeps hitting it out of the park with non-stop thrills and one of the best leading characters on modern television. Jack Reacher is very well written, but it would not be the same without the contribution of actor Alan Ritchson, who seems tailor-made for the gig. But as it turns out, Ritchson wasn't always attached to the project. Someone else was supposed to play Reacher. Ritchson, who's also known for his roles in shows like Smallville and Titans and movies like The Hunger Games. Catching Fire was in the web series Autocomplete Interview for Wired, where he answered a few questions fans asked about him. In the series, celebrities answer the internet's most searched questions about them. And when it was Ritchson's turn to answer why he was cast in the show, he said the following while looking dumbfounded. Like millions of people are searching that question. Like, who the F is this guy, Reacher? He sucks. I asked myself the same question, and so did the studio, because they went back multiple times like, I'm not sure this is the right guy. We want somebody bigger and stronger and faster. But yeah, I don't know. I asked myself the same thing. It wasn't an easy get. It was an 8-month audition process. You think I felt wanted at the end of an 8-month process? And then I found out after the fact, they promised the job to another dude. And I just happened to be crushing the auditions, and they were like, I guess we have to strongly consider this guy who was just supposed to be someone we threw in the mix. And I ended up winning the role. So I too ask myself the same question. Thanks for that. Although Ritchson doesn't mention who was offered the job before him, there were several other names in the roster of auditionees, including Teddy Sears, Brandon Routh, and Brian Van Holt. The character was previously played by Tom Cruise in the big screen adaptations of Lee Child's books, Jack Reacher and Jack Reacher. Never Go Back. The future of the Reacher series. So far, all the seasons of Reacher have become mega hits for Amazon Prime Video. The very talented vigilante has turned into an icon of the action genre, with only 3 seasons of one of the best TV productions you can find today on streaming. They have all earned critical acclaim, with Season 1 getting a 92% score on Rotten Tomatoes and Seasons 2 and 3 getting 98% and 97%, respectively. This means Reacher is far from over. Naturally, Amazon MGM Studios will push for more. The action hit created by Nick Santora has been renewed for a 4th season, and the series will get its own spin-off titled Neagley. Neagley is based on the character Frances Neagley, as played by Maria Sten in the show. She's the investigator who usually joins Reacher to solve some of the mysteries in the series. The spin-off is also produced by Santora, and it's currently in production. When Amazon first announced it was rebooting Reacher, fans of Lee Child's Jack Reacher novels were both excited and apprehensive. After all, the last big screen portrayal by Tom Cruise, while entertaining, left a sizable chunk of the fanbase unconvinced. The character in the books is a towering, ex-military drifter, and Cruise, while charismatic, simply didn't fit the physical mold. So when it came time for casting the new face of Jack Reacher, Hollywood's elite scrambled for a shot at redemption. Muscle-bound stars, up-and-coming action heroes, and seasoned veterans all quietly prepared audition tapes, hoping to land the role of a lifetime. But what happened next would become one of those behind-the-scenes stories that industry insiders whisper about at networking parties. How Alan Ritchson, a relatively under-the-radar actor, bulldozed his way into the spotlight and stole the role from a more well-known competitor. The unexpected frontrunner, before Ritchson's name was ever floated, the short list included a surprising array of big names. Jon Bernthal, known for his intensity in The Punisher. Armie Hammer, before controversy sent his career into a tailspin. And even Chris Hemsworth, whose Marvel obligations made him a long shot, but whose physicality made him a tempting candidate. One particular name was gaining serious traction. Alexander Skarsgård. Tall, chiseled, brooding, a fan favorite pick among casting agents. Skarsgård had just come off The Northman and was looking to anchor a franchise that allowed for depth and danger. His name was reportedly circled in red ink by executives. And yet, in an office in Santa Monica, an audition tape slid across a desk and changed everything. The tape that changed it all. Alan Ritchson didn't have a massive resume at the time. He was best known for playing Hawk in Titans and had flexed his comedic chops in Blue Mountain State. But he'd always been circling greatness, just one role away from exploding. He had the look, 6'3", 235 pounds of carved muscle, with a jawline sharp enough to slice glass. But more importantly, he had the presence. In his self-taped audition, Ritchson reportedly didn't just act the part of Jack Reacher, he became him. No yelling, no over-the-top theatrics, just a calm, dangerous confidence. He delivered lines with a kind of quiet thunder, like a man who knew he could break you in half, but would only do it if you truly deserved it. One Amazon exec reportedly stood up after watching the tape and said, "That's him. That's Reacher." A close call, but the process wasn't over. Skarsgård had a final meeting set. Sources say he was already practicing the Reacher walk, reading the books, studying military movements. Meanwhile, Ritchson, still considered the dark horse, was flown out to do a chemistry read and screen test. It was in that screen test, opposite the show's female lead, Willa Fitzgerald, that everything locked into place. Ritchson's performance was grounded, electric, and effortless. When the director called "cut," there was a pause, then quiet nods from the producers. It wasn't even a question anymore. Skarsgård never made it to the final negotiation table. What set Ritchson apart? It wasn't just his size, or his voice, or even his action chops. It was a blend of factors that created the perfect storm. 1. Authenticity. Ritchson brought a lived-in feel to the character. He wasn't acting like a soldier. He was a soldier. 2. Charisma without flash. Unlike other action stars who lead with bravado, Ritchson radiated a quiet strength that mirrored the novel's portrayal of Reacher. A man who speaks little but says everything. 3. Work ethic. He reportedly gained 30 pounds of lean muscle for the role and trained obsessively in military combat techniques. He understood that Reacher wasn't a superhero. He was a weapon, finely honed. 4. Respect for the source material. Ritchson was a fan of the books. He'd read them before he even knew about the casting. This wasn't a gig for him. It was a calling. The fallout. Hollywood, ever full of whispers and side eyes, took notice. Skarsgård's camp was reportedly frustrated, but respectful. Other actors who had been in contention watched the series' first season in stunned admiration, and maybe a hint of regret. And fans, they rejoiced. Social media exploded with praise. Finally, a real Reacher. One fan tweeted. Another wrote, "Ritchson is Reacher." Full stop. Even Lee Child himself gave the performance a nod of approval, stating, "I knew the moment I saw him. This is the guy I imagined when I wrote the books." From underdog to franchise leader, today, Ritchson is more than just a rising star. He's the anchor of a flagship Amazon series, with multiple seasons greenlit and a fanbase that grows by the day. His performance has not only redefined the character of Jack Reacher, but also set a new bar for action drama casting. Looking back, it's clear that Ritchson didn't just land the role. He took it, with the kind of unapologetic dominance Jack Reacher himself would have approved of. And somewhere in Los Angeles, a few A-list actors are probably still wondering how the guy from Blue Mountain State walked in, outshined them all, and became the face of justice in America. Let me know if you'd like a punchier headline, some quotes rewritten, or a version under 700 words for a blog. Let me know if you'd like a punchier headline, some quotes rewritten, or a version under 700 words for a blog.